Good morning. This is Cindy Jordan here, and I'm welcoming you to Cherokee, North Carolina, where it's a beautiful rainy day. You may be able to hear the rain in the background. Be quiet a little bit so you can. Fresh, cleansing rain. I just returned from a retreat, from a conference, a week-long conference, and in this conference there were 250 some people, and we gathered together to explore dreams, the messages of dreams. The title of the conference was Dreams, God's Forgotten Language. It's a program that's particularly for churches or for religious folks to begin to look at, or go deeper into their exploration of how dreams inform us about our waking lives, the choices that we have, the choices that we are avoiding, the issues that may be coming up, but we are not aware of them because our focus is elsewhere. There's my hands coming in. But because our focus is elsewhere. Now, another video I may go deeper into dreams, but if you'd like a website to go to explore some of this, whether you're religious or not, the conference is mostly for religious. It's not super religious, but that's who it's catered to, particularly Christian and Buddhist. Now, there might have been some Jewish there, and Taoist. I'm sure there's a Taoist there, Eastern Orthodox, Christian. I've said that already. At any rate, you can go to www.jeremytaylor.com if you're interested in exploring just some basics in dreams. And Jeremy's worked with dreams for 50-some years and has done a lot of group dream work, and that's what the conference was about. Well, an aspect of the conference was doing group dream work. It's also known as projective dream work. We don't analyze dreams there, but we look at them and then we put our own projections on someone else's dream. We withdraw our projections to say, what am I saying now about myself? This is in alignment with when preachers preach. They typically are preaching to themselves first, and then they're letting the congregation or the audience know what it is they're saying. But the message is to the minister first, and then to the people. Ministers don't always know this, but it is a common attribute of the ministry. At any rate, so I was at this conference, and this year, I've been going to this conference for about, 5, 6, 7 years, and generally first as a participant, then as a dream group leader, and this year I volunteered to do a workshop. The workshop was on Ho'oponopono. That's Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian form of prayer. Now, in the workshop, I got into more the ancient way, the ancient practice, and then the evolution, if you will, of a more modern practice. And actually, there's even a more contemporary evolution of that, in a sense. Now, here I refer you to YouTube interviews and YouTube explanations. Dr. Hugh Lynn, Hewlen. If you go to YouTube and type in his name, you will come up with several interviews. And these are excellent interviews. This is how I found out about Ho'oponopono after my Lomi Lomi teacher had expressed that, I'm a minister, and she had expressed that she wanted me to start a church, and that it would be a Ho'oponopono church. I didn't know what Ho'oponopono was, so I went to explore it, and I Googled just about everything, and this came up on YouTube. Then I took a course in Ho'oponopono, and then I did future follow-up with Ho'oponopono with a Hawaiian cultural traditionalist. And there's still probably much I can learn about Ho'oponopono, but we don't have to have it mastered before we can benefit from it, and that's the beauty of it. Ho'oponopono, in the contemporary sense, consists initially of 4 statements. And these 4 statements are, in any order, or no particular order, these 4 statements are, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I love you, thank you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, I'm sorry. Thank you, I love you. So as you can see, I just demonstrated, it doesn't have to go a particular way. Typically, whenever you're doing the research, you will find that they do say it, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. When do you say these words, and what does it do? Well, basically, you say this any time. I myself have found that if I do it in the morning and think about my day, even if I know who I'm going to meet, then I include them in the process. For instance, today is Sunday, and I'll go to church. And so I may process, I'll do it right now actually. I'll think about the people who I may encounter at church, and the people who I may not encounter, but I may see there. So I'm going to say these words. I'm sorry if I or any of my ancestors or any of my relations have offended you or any of your ancestors or any of your relations. Please forgive me. Please forgive us. We thank you for being here. We thank you for forgiving us. We love you. We honor you. Okay, I added a little embellishment to that. But here I am. I don't know if I look Native American or English or some other mix, because I am a mix. But I live among some Native American Indians, particularly in the territory of Cherokee. But there's also some Sioux and some others in the area. And I also have a Caucasian background, or European background. And so indeed, I have done my own trespasses, either through omission or commission. And my ancestors have, obviously. Look at where the Native American people are today, the majority of them. Still oppressed by the prisons of the mind that we constructed on the reservations. So indeed, if not my direct descendants or ancestors, at least my community, my cultural ancestors, have offended. Well, Dr. Hugh Lynn, as I continue to study this, we don't even have to have specifics in our mind. We don't have to have emotion with what we're saying. We're cultivating, the fact that, yes, Jesus said, forgive 7 times 70 times. He said, pray without ceasing. What do these things mean? Well, indeed, any time that you're present with me, if my mind's distracted somewhere else and I'm not in honoring your essence, then in a sense I've trespassed. Have you ever been bearing your soul to someone and you got interrupted? Or they said, oh, wait a minute, here, you want some? And it's almost like they totally abandoned your soul as you were setting it out there as a friend or as a client or whatever. In a sense, that is a trespass. Okay? So We trespass against each other every day. To say, I'm sorry, yes, I'm fallible. To say, please forgive me for my limitations, that I can't be, or I'm unable at this time, or I choose at this time not to abide 100% present. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you for demonstrating to me where I'm off. Thank you for demonstrating to me where I deviate from my line of truth. And I love you. You know, the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And perhaps you've heard this before, but indeed, we must love ourselves. We must love ourselves enough to even say these words to us. You know, I'm sorry, Cindy. I'm sorry to you that you run off track. I'm sorry to you for less than quality choices that you've made. Please forgive me. Please forgive myself, or I forgive myself. Why? Because I don't want to carry this around. I don't want my shoulders to be hunkered and burdened with bad choices or with fear. I have enough to free up this energy. And so I forgive myself and I love myself. You know, if we love ourselves, it generates this heart energy that we also love others, because we know we're fallible and we can have the grace to allow other people their fallibility. Well, this is a brief introduction on Ho'oponopono. There's deeper levels to it, and perhaps I've already gone deeper than I needed to for a first introduction. I hope you find some useful information in this. You know, I refer to about the dream work with Jeremy Taylor information, and he has some other links on his website. And then also the looking up Dr. Hugh Lin, H-E-W, one word, L-E-N, another word. You can look him up on YouTube and find some interviews. And then there's also there's a great interview with an auntie, A-U-N-T-I-E, and I forget, just look up interview with auntie, and don't recall the rest of the title. About a 30-minute interview talking about Ho'oponopono. So people may do it different ways, but the purpose is to clear your system, to clear your system of memories, to clear your system. It's almost like going to Chinese medicine where you may have energy blockages in your meridians that's causing stiffness or causing pain. Well, clearing our psyche of these memories by using a clearing method. There's many clearing methods, but today we're talking about Ho'oponopono. By clearing our psyche and our memories and our fears and our guilt with Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Doing this clearing helps us to have energy to freely flow. This is where we make room for inspiration. For inspiration. If we're all clogged up and stiff, we're not going to get the inspiration, or we'll get it, but it will be mingled and mangled with our stuff, and it's hard to tease out. The clearer we get, the more we can live an inspired life. I had one more thought that will come in another video. This is enough for today, I do believe. I thank you for joining me. I wish you many, many blessings. I just remembered one thing, and that is, if you forget the 4 phrases, just begin with the words, I love you, I love you, I love you. Begin with people who you do have that feeling of love and compassion, and then take it to neutral people you may not know, and see, watch yourself cultivate that compassion and appreciation, even if you don't know them. And then think of someone who's done a minor offense, perhaps they snubbed you or they interrupted you. Something minor that you typically let go of, but maybe it hit a nerve for you. And use the I love you, thank you for being here. Even though you slighted me, or even though you cut me off, thank you for being here, and I love you because your contribution is bigger than your what I take as your offense. And then later, as you do this practice and get it as a type of a mantra, as you do this, then you'll notice in larger situations it's easier to apply. Maybe not immediately, but as you apply it, you'll notice that you are the one that gets freer. You are the one that gets more in the flow and can let things go. So again, namaste, peace and blessings to you.